I can go ahead and introduce myself just in case anybody was only coming back for the VAWA reporting section. So hello, I'm Sandy Dixon again, and I'm the lead crime victim services planner here at GCC. We have a very full 30 minutes to talk to you about VAWA stop reporting requirements, and I will turn it over to Dawn Brown-Hairston and Amanda Endicott. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Hello, everyone. My name is Dawn Brown. My name is Dawn Brown-Hairston. I'm the lead VAWA planner at the Governor's Crime Commission, and our team consists of myself and Amanda Endicott, who will be taking over after the first couple slides. We appreciate you all being here with us today. We hope that you find the presentations helpful and that you're able to use them throughout your activities with your grants. All right, Amanda, we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so first I wanted to talk with you about why do we report? And Amanda and I are going to talk a lot about VAWA reporting. You did hear some of the grant managers talk about it. Burley gave you some good, valuable information on reporting. And also Diane also provided information about reporting. So we're just going to go a little bit further in talking to you today about why do we report. So a performance report can help us all collect, analyze, and report back information to guide us in decision making. And when I say us all, I provided a visual to illustrate that we're all involved. That's the funder, that's the program, that's the victim, and that is the community. So we're all collecting and analyzing information and getting an understanding of the services that are going on in the community. We're measuring the impact of your program's performance, and that can help us understand whether you're successfully meeting your mission and vision and how you might adapt to be more successful. The North Carolina Governor's Crime Commission and federal funders like OVW, that's the Office of Violence Against Women, and GCC, we request performance measurement data as part of grant applications. The reason we might, or some reasons that this data is important is because it provides us information regarding the effectiveness of VAWA funding, not only statewide, but nationwide. So Congress uses this information as well. It supports continued funding to North Carolina. So we're giving them information, telling them what we're doing with the funds, and this justifies getting more funds. And additionally, the data that we get from the performance reports, it guides funding priorities, and it's available to the public so that they're also able to see the work that we're doing. And right now, the data that is available, it only goes up to 2022 right now, but we have made some updates in the VAWA world with reporting that will assist in getting more recent information more quickly. And we'll talk about those updates as we move forward in the presentation. Okay, so now let's talk about what happens if. So with regards to reports, what happens if there's incomplete or inaccurate information? We want to get as much information from you as possible. We want you to answer the questions to the best of your ability, but we want them to be as accurate as possible. What happens if there are late reports? You know, there are times where folks have issues getting reports in on time, but we've built in measures to support you and assist you with avoiding late reports. What happens if reports are missing? That is an issue that we have not really had at GCC. With all of the three, inaccurate, late, or missing reports. I've been at GCC about 4 years, and Amanda's been here for 2. This past year, we've had 100% submission rates. We haven't had a lot of issues at all. The subrecipients have done a great job communicating with us if they're going to be late or if it's something they don't understand. And then in the further years, we did have some late reporting and things, but those were based on some communications, and we were able to get all those things worked out. So here at GCC, we've had a really good, successful rate with reports and submissions. But what happens if these things happen? So inaccurate, late, and missing reports could cause a decrease in funding to North Carolina. Yes, that means that 1 late report, 2 late reports, 3 late reports can affect the entire state's funding. So we want to work with you, and we want you to know that we're here for guidance and technical support whenever you need it. Late, incomplete, inaccurate, and missing reports could also give information or make us understand that your program may, or it may highlight the ineffectiveness of VAWA-funded programs. So does it mean that the work that you're doing is not effective? No. But it could mean that the communication of the work that you're doing is somehow not getting across properly. But it still communicates, that there's something ineffective going on. Also, victims' needs are lost, ignored, or not accurately conveyed, and that will affect the services provided in North Carolina. So these are things that we want to avoid with VAWA reporting or any reporting. You can go to the next slide, Amanda. At this time, Amanda Endicott is going to take over with start reporting requirements, and I may chime in here and there, but I will be paying attention to the chat as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn. Hi, everybody. I'm going to cover the components and requirements of stop reporting and then answer any questions at the end. Our federal partners that require these reports, VAWA-May, works on a calendar year, which is of course different than the period of performance for your project, which is typically from the beginning of October to the end of September the following year. So to ensure that the entire year is reported, we require reports January 30th, typically to cover those first 3 months after your start date, and October 30th, which covers the rest of the award from January to the end of September. And this is just kind of a calendar visual to reiterate when the typical agreement starts in October. That first report will be due in January. We like to give you 30 days, and we like to send out those reminder emails as well. And that's usually coming from one of us. And then the final report is due at the end of October to cover that January to September. So VAWA-May partners at the University of Maine at the Catherine Cutler Institute oversee the Measuring Effectiveness Initiative, which is where you get VAWA-May, and have created a tool where all performance data will be submitted. This is a new tool that they've come out with within the last year. So about the time that we were transitioning with EBS, VAWA-May was transitioning this new reporting tool. When reporting season starts, you'll receive an email from the VAWA team providing a statewide link where you will create and fill in your report. The tool will provide you with your own link to the report should you have to come back to it or if you aren't able to finish in one sitting. If you lose that link, just email the VAWA team and we can help you get one. The VAWA team will have an account to the new tool to offer you report links and review reports. The only communication that you'll receive from the reporting tool is an email stating that a report with your email as the contact person has been started. Otherwise, any communication about reports will still come from the VAWA team at GCC. VAWA-May also offers a how-to guide as well as training videos to guide you through the reporting tool, and we'll provide those resources at the end of the training too. And this is just a visual of the reminder emails that you'll typically get from us. We want to just make sure that you have everything you need to complete this report. We are here to serve you and help you be able to accomplish these things. If you have had a VAWA agreement before and are used to that PDF version of the report, the questions in the new reporting tool are mostly the same when compared to the PDF version. A few questions have been added, such as dealing with sexual assault kits and tribal communities, and some questions have been condensed or eliminated altogether. The first set of questions you'll complete is the general information about your project, which is specifically the contact information. So that's why it's really important that we have the correct point of contacts, project director contact information in our EBS system, so that we can match up these reports and as well as be able to keep that efficient communication going. Your agreement number is the number your project was assigned when the award was granted. For this reporting tool, you are also now required to list all open agreements in that question number 4 on the general information, whereas that wasn't required before. The purpose areas that you should select are the ones that you selected when you applied for the award. And just let us know if you need help finding those on your initial application so that we can help you with this section. These are the possible function areas that your agreement may find applicable. You will need to answer whichever function areas apply to your grant. You will be asked if each section applies to you, and if it's a no, it'll just skip the section completely instead of having to scroll through pages like on the PDF version. And then if you answer yes, they do apply to your agreement, then there'll be further questions about how the stop funding was used for that function. The last, excuse me, I went up instead of, there we go. The last part of the report will be the narratives. Questions 1 and 2 are required for all agreements. Question 3 is only required for agreements using their funds for the Crystal Judson Domestic Violence Program activities. This program is for agreements performing specific domestic violence activities and protocols. Questions 4 and 5 are optional and are asking for additional information you would like to add. Especially in question number 5, this is a good place for you to advocate for your agreement and why your project is important for victims and survivors in your community. Completing the stop report. As you work through the report, the reporting tool will tell you if you're missing information or if calculations do not add up by giving you the yellow exclamation mark in the side panel. You will have to fix any of these errors to move forward and submit your report. So your goal is to get all of those green check marks next to each function area and section of the report. And then the tool will validate the report for you and allow you to submit it for review. And that bottom graph is the picture is showing you kind of what you're going to see when you finish your report if everything is correct. And these are really important requirements that I'm going to go ahead and read off for you because they are things that we need to remember when filling out these reports. You must upload a separate report in EBS for each stop agreement. Reports must be completed electronically. We cannot accept handwritten, scanned, incomplete, or blank reports. Information and data submitted should reflect the agreement's grant-funded activities completed during the specific time frame of the calendar year. So like we were talking about earlier, even if your project starts and ends between October and September, whatever calendar year you're in, that's what you're reporting for, because VAWA runs off of a calendar year for the reporting purposes. Keep a copy of all stop reports for a minimum of 5 years. And then failure to submit the required reports could result in temporary or permanent suspension of funding. As Lindsay said, with VOCA reports, it's kind of the same deal, but we want to be able to help you submit them as best as efficiently as possible. Again, this is what EBS should look like for you. Reports can be submitted through that progress and performance reports tile. And for those accepting extensions, it's kind of a plot twist. We're actually not skipping, but we are not accepting October reports this year because in January, you'll report on the whole 2024 calendar year. And that way it kind of simplifies it down. It helps VAWA get ready for us to be able to submit reports. And that way this transition can go as smoothly as possible. But that is just for those that have accepted extensions. Those that haven't, a report will be due in October, but you'll still receive communication from the VAWA staff 30 days before the due date. A few more reminders. Because EBS and the VAWA reporting tool are not connected, subrecipients must submit their reports to both platforms. The VAWA planning team's role is to make sure that it is validated and submitted, and once it has been, you will receive an email from us saying such. You will then download the report and submit it to EBS for your grant administrators to review. Right now, the reporting tool only allows you to download the report as an Excel sheet, but VAWA is working on making a readable version for you to download, or you will be provided a form by GCC if theirs is not ready. Also, please be sure the assigned staff have access to EBS and contact your grant administrator if you have any questions about that process. And these are some of the tools that we'll provide for you. Most of these are from the VAWA website. They're really helpful resources for filling out the stop reports. And we'll provide these to you in the chat, as well as keep these within the PowerPoint, which you'll be able to see on our website in the future. And this is my contact information. If you have any reporting questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm going to hold office hours on the first and third Tuesdays from December through February, but I'm more than happy to take your emails and calls if you have questions between now and reporting time. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Awesome, Amanda. So far, I haven't seen any questions in the chat. Could you go back one slide for me?
Sure, absolutely.
And we'll still monitor the chat. And I'm also going to be putting links in the chat that Amanda was referring to, helpful resources for you all. But right here on her reporting questions slide, I did add the next date or the first date for the reporting office hours. That's going to be on December 3rd. And I think the next one after that is going to be on December the 17th. So mark your calendars for those because, you know, we'll be in there giving you an hour, you know, to answer any questions, and you won't be muted this time. And then if you could go back to slide 15 for me, Amanda, it's just a couple back. Yes. No, I'm sorry, one more. Thank you. Amanda did give you an idea of what you would see when you first open EBS, and Kevin did a wonderful presentation as well to get you started on that reporting tile. But we want to stress that you want to upload one report for each of your agreement. Amanda did say this, but we have a little more time. So I wanted to touch on the things that we get the most frequent questions about. So you want to upload a report for each of your agreements separately. She did talk to you about no written, scanned, or incomplete reports, and to be sure that your dates are accurate. So there is a tool that she mentioned, and in that tool, you're going to be able to download and print the information that you submit. And that is the documentation that you would need to upload into EBS. If for some reason that documentation is not available, we will have a workaround, and we will talk to you all about that when we're closer to reporting time. But, you know, we're trying to report as accurately as possible right now, exactly how the system is set up. And if anything changes, we'll give you clear instructions on those email reminders. That, I think, is the last thing I wanted to say about the email reminders. You know, those of you who have been managing VAWA grants with us, you know, we send reminder after reminder, making sure that you're going to be on time. So we'll be here to support you with that. There's going to be a link provided to you to enter your data, and you'll have clear steps to, you know, make sure that you know exactly what to do. If for some reason you still have questions, we have office hours, but you can also contact us via email or by phone. And we want to also remind you to include your grant administrators in all of your communications with Amanda and myself regarding reports. If you don't, no worries, we will include them. We'll find them and let them know what's going on and make sure that they are involved in whatever communications we're having. And I don't see any questions in the chat, so hopefully we have touched on everything we need to. And Amanda, thank you so much for doing such a wonderful job with VAWA reporting at GCC.
Thank you.
I will second that. I'd like to thank both teams. They have made some great changes to this presentation that I think clarified a lot of things. And Amanda has worked through an entire new reporting system from VAWA-May. So we thank her for that. We thank the VOCA team for working through those PMT errors with you as well. And we will give you about 10 minutes, 9 minutes